If you want to respond back to my email message, great. If not, you can flick me off, or you can, Hey, it's Lance McGowan here, and today's video is going to talk about an email that I got of someone that called me a fraud! Oh my goodness! Yeah, so I got an email randomly from somebody, and basically the subject line said, fraud. And then I'm going to read off what they said, because I think it's interesting, and I disagree with them. But anyways, let's have you hear it and kind of get more perspective on what I go through, and maybe how to handle these things as well, either from a mindset standpoint or response via email. Alright, so they had, like I said, they had fraud in the subject line, and their name is Young Shadow. So shout out to Young Shadow. Yeah, don't know your real name, but that's cool. You know, aliases are, they're a thing, so cool. Alright, so Young Shadow stated, all the videos you're making about the truth of Gary Young and Young's living that's what they said, are not even close to 50% accurate. So whenever somebody says that, I'm like, alright, so which specific points that I make are not accurate? Like, list them out, or I already have them listed, so it's really just which ones do you disagree with, and why are they not accurate? This is kind of like a broad sweeping claim, or just something that basically discredits them in a very kind of overviewish way, but not a specific way. Me talking to you would be like, hey, where's the specifics, and where do you support your claims as well that they're not accurate, 100% accurate, or 90% accurate, or 10% accurate? Where are you getting your information? Because all my information is fact-based and cited in the description with all the sources. But I digress. Let's continue here. They said all your research was done off of Wikipedia, and anyone on there can change the facts of anything on there. So although some of the facts that I've mentioned, specifically on the truth about Young Living and Gary Young, some of that information is on Wikipedia, but they give their sources to news articles and third-party resources as well. And again, the reason why I do these videos is because there's a lot of half-truths and hearsay about stuff of unverified claims, or things that people say that are broad sweeping or overgeneralizations or not 100% fact-based, without citing their sources specifically on the points that they're questioning or critiquing. And then I do my own research, right? And then I feel that it's important to share that with the public, because I like to tell the truth and keep it real. And even in the title, the fraud, if you look up a definition of fraud, it's anyone that basically does wrongful, criminal, or deceitful behavior for personal or financial gain. And the information that I'm giving is free, and it's third party, and it's fact-based, it's free, it's publicly available, and it's fact-based. And so anyone can look that up. All I am is maybe the messenger, and I deliver in a way that's maybe different than some folks, because I maybe sometimes use sound effects, or maybe I use little subtitles, or I at least include all my sources that I cite, especially in the description specifically. But anyways, that's maybe disagreeing with definitions there, but that's their opinion. I disagree with what they're saying, but anyways, here we go. It says, you're tearing so many lives done, not down, but done, as well as their work. Well, we're tearing the English language down if we're not using the right words. Okay, here we go. Would you like it if someone made a video about you, saying all the bad things you've done, and not crediting a single good thing that you've done? Well, that's not what I did in the videos. If you actually look at that specific video, The Truth About Young Living and Gary Young, it's all fact-based, all third-party information. It's roughly 40% positive and 60% less than positive. And that's only because that's based on what information was available and what I was able to research and pull from. Would I have liked to have been 50-50, 50 positive, 50, not so positive? Yeah, I mean, that would have been maybe more balanced, and it would have been more real. But it's not what they said. They're basically saying it was 100% negative, which it's not, and 0% positive. And so, again, exaggerations, overgeneralizations, it just creates inaccurate conclusions at the end of the day. And then they finally say here, what kind of person does that make you look like? Well, I don't know, because you probably have to tell me what I look like, but I can see what I look like in the video. So, but I get what they're saying. They're like, what kind of person does it make you look like if you looks like you're, cherry picking, or you're not accurate? But I would also ask the question back, what kind of person does it make young Shadow look like when they're not stating specific points that they disagree with and citing their sources and coming to accurate conclusions as well? What it makes them look like or be is unreasonable. So unreasonable people focus on trying to win, trying to be right, and really blaming or shaming others to avoid personal wrongness. And so I'll own my stuff. If I've allowed something, or if I've done something wrong or incorrectly, yeah, I'll make corrections or I'll own it. But a reasonable person on the other end, they focus on the truth, seeking understanding, and finding solutions to things. And that's what I try to be. I try to be reasonable. There's times where I can be unreasonable if I'm triggered by an unreasonable person. It's more like conflict resolution as in the heat of the moment, face to face. That's kind of like not my super strong suit. And I would argue that most people don't have a strong suit. Like if somebody's really trying to get all up in your face and your grill, it's kind of hard to be the reasonable one and, take the higher road and walk away, or still have a calm voice, or, especially if they're trying to get at you or something in person. Like, people can write messages, emails, and comments on my YouTube channel all day that are negative because they're hiding behind a phone screen or a computer screen. Like, I guarantee you none of that would be said in person, mostly because I wouldn't even recognize them. But, I mean, it's just that kind of behavior. It's almost like you get, like, digital courage. You got, like, email courage, or you get, like, YouTube comment courage, where you're just like, hey, I ain't gonna meet you ever, so send, and then there's like, okay. But what I would encourage people to do is look at how we're communicating and how we can improve that to not just help us out in the YouTube comment section or this email, but what about our business? Whether you're an employee or you're an entrepreneur or you're an executive, what about in your relationships with your spouse or your significant other? What about with your health? How can you be more reasonable and speak truth and seek understanding and find solutions? Instead of trying to win all the time and be right and blame and shame others, like, that doesn't solve anything. That doesn't make you a better version of yourself. But anyways, I responded back with, thank you for the feedback, young Shadow. So, young Shadow, if you're watching this, I still love you, but I disagree with pretty much all that you said. So, yeah. All right. I said, then, can you help me understand why you didn't leave this comment under said YouTube videos? And that was it. They didn't respond back via email. It's been a number of weeks, and that's it. I think they almost like watched the video. They were like, they got triggered with the truth, and they were like, you know what, instead of leaving a comment on there, because there's hundreds of comments already, I'm just gonna send this dude an email. Let me go up to the description area, look to see what his email is, type that in, put my little fraud in the subject line, and then take the grenade, take the pin out the grenade and lob it over the fence. They kind of got out their system and everything. And so my intent of encouraging them to leave a comment on my YouTube channel is because that allows other people to see the discussion. And so this video that I'm doing is a different way for you to see the back and forth discussion, even though there was only really one back and forth. It was, they took the pin out of the grenade and threw it over the fence to me, and then I grabbed the grenade and threw it, in the ocean or something, so let that blow up somewhere else. That's why my response was seeking understanding. I was trying to be reasonable and say, can you help me understand why you didn't basically have the grenade? I don't want the grenade going off in my YouTube community, but it happens anyway. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, if you're going to leave a comment like this, it's best to do it in the YouTube environment so other people can at least see the discussion. There's more transparency and visibility to stuff, because I believe that's important in everything I do. If not, then what you say, if it's really absurd or like interesting, there may be a video that I do on it. It just kind of depends. Like, interesting would be more like somebody adds to the discussion or comment section in a very unique way that's maybe more positive or neutral in general. Absurd would be comments, like emails like this where they have the subject line that says fraud. And so you just, when I read it, I think actually the first time I saw that in my email, I actually laughed because I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is going to be good. Like, I was just like, and I'm at that point where I get so much interesting feedback, positive and negative, on a daily basis that it's I don't want to say it's fun because that sounds really weird, but it's like, it's so absurd that it's almost comical. And I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just saying, like I almost have to be this way because I don't take it personal. It's just like they're maybe not in a good spot and they got triggered with the truth and they're being unreasonable. That's usually it. And I could easily go down that road if I don't, focus on the speaking truth, seeking understanding, and finding solutions. And so anyone can do it, right? But I think it's important to, seek understanding and go that route. But anyways, Young Shadow, if you're watching this now, again, still got love for you. If you want to respond back to my email message, great. If not, you can flick me off, or you can, yell things at the camera, or you can probably say things behind my back, or, whatever. It's cool. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button if you did. Hit subscribe for future video updates. And most importantly, check out some of the links in the description below so you can continue to get your learn on with my other videos. And I'll see you in the next video.